Senate will come to order. Ms. Spear, would you please call the roll?
Senators Aguilar, Senators Aguilar, Baumgardner, Cook, Coram, Court, Crowder, Donovan, Finberg, Fields, Garcia, Gardner, Guzman, Hill, Holbert, John, Jones, Kagan, Kafalis, Kerr, Lambert, Lundberg, Marble, Martinez-Humenic, Merrifield, Moreno, Neville, Priola, Scott.
Excused.
Smallwood, Sonnenberg, Tate, Todd, Williams, Zenzinger, Mr. President.
Here. 34 present, 0 absent, 1 excused. We have a quorum. Senator Moreno, would you please come and lead us in the pledge?
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues and guests, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Approval of the journal, Senator Court.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move that we approve the journal as corrected by the Secretary and dispense with the reading for February 15th, or something like that.
You've heard the motion. Is there any objection to the motion? Seeing none, the motion is adopted. Committee reports.
Committee on Finance, after consideration on the merits, Senate Bill 141, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 141 be amended as follows, and as to amendment be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. Recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. Committee on Finance, after consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following. House Bill 1144 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation, with the recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. Committee on Judiciary, after consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 62 be referred to the committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 23 be postponed indefinitely. Health and Human Services, after consideration of the merits, committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 161 be referred to committee of the whole with favorable recommendation. The recommendation be placed on the consent calendar. Health and Human Services, after consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 84 be amended as follows, and as to amended be referred to committee on appropriations with favorable recommendation. Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 132 be amended as follows, and as to amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation. Committee on Health and Human Services, after consideration of the merits, the committee recommends the following. Senate Bill 74 be amended as follows, and as to amended be referred to the Committee on Appropriations with favorable recommendation.
Gardner, when I do it after her and before Gardner,
Senate Services.
are you willing to talk?
Correctly engrossed, Senate Bill 10, 33, 79, 106, 107, 129, 138, 154. Correctly revised, House Bill 1075, 1159, 1160, 1161, 1162, 1163, 1164, 1165, 1166, 1167, 1168, 1169, 1170, and 1173.
Just be aware we have school kids and
Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege for a tribute from the good senator from Denver and Centennial.
Motion is to proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege by Senators Aguilar and Kagan. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and we will proceed out of order for that moment of personal privilege. Senator Aguilar.
Thank you, Mr. President. May I have a moment of personal privilege?
Granted. And to Senator Kagan as well.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Members, we already gave this tribute yesterday in honor of the Denver Chinese School and their 20th anniversary and their 16th annual Chinese New Year celebration being held tomorrow. But we had a miscommunication and our guests are here today. So I just wanted to take a moment to introduce you to the president and vice president of the Denver Chinese School, Hualing Liu and Yipling Lau, who are here joining us today. And they are joined by former House Representative Robert Bowen. And if you would just help me to welcome our guests today, I will cede my time. Thank you.
And
Senator Kagan, go ahead.
And Mr. President, members of the Senate, I would like to publicly thank our distinguished guests here for the work they do to make Colorado one state, one people, where cultures and backgrounds of all types come together to form one community of Colorado. Thank you for that work. Thank you.
Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Ask that we extend this moving out of order for another moment of personal privilege from the good senator from El Paso County.
It does require another motion, and I'll take that as a motion. Motion is to proceed out of order for a moment of personal privilege for Senator Gardner. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it, and we'll proceed out of order. Senator Gardner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I this morning have two passings that I would like to recognize. First, many of you have probably seen in the paper, and I don't think we have recognized this on the floor, that Lieutenant Jim Downing, one of our Pearl Harbor survivors, one of our two in El Paso County, passed away just a few days ago at the age of 104. You will recall that we recognized Lieutenant Downing for the Jim Downing Bridge resolution. And so with that, I would ask for a brief moment of silence to recognize the passing of Lieutenant Jim Downing.
We will be in a moment of silence, and if it's okay with the senator, chimes will ring. Thank you, colleagues. Senator Gardner.
Thank you, and thank you, Mr. President. And colleagues, an untimely passing that I wish to recognize this morning. In the early morning of about 10 days ago, February 5th, a friend of many of us, Sean Patrick Murphy, passed away in his sleep to join his Lord and Savior in heaven. He resided in Alexandria, Virginia, survived by his wife and three sons. Sean was a Colorado native who graduated with a political science degree from the University of Colorado Boulder in 1989, and at the time of his passing was working for Oklahoma Congressman Tom Cole as his chief of staff and had held that position for some 11 years. Many of you will know Sean having served as chief of staff for 4 years to Congressman Bob Beaupre, and prior to that, Sean served as the executive director of the Colorado Republican Party from 1999 to 2002. Sean was only 51 years old. He was a family man, dedicated public servant, and a man of deep and abiding faith. In everything he undertook, he put faith, family, and friends first. He was idolized by his sons, but to every person who had the pleasure of meeting him as well. Not one person ever had a harsh thing to say about Sean. He greeted every person with the utmost respect and regard, whether it was of his party or the other, lobbyist or constituent, anyone in this great public policy process. He brought joy and fulfillment to many, and his legacy will live on as someone who loved this country, loved this public policy process, and was dedicated to those for whom he worked and to his family and to his God. Mr. President, I ask for a moment of silence and the chimes to be rung as well.
We will be in a moment of silence and the chimes will ring. Thank you, colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, colleagues.
Third reading of bills, consent calendar. Ms. Spear. Would you please read the titles to all the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar?
Senate Bill 138, concerning authorization, by Senators Gardner and Kerr and Representatives Gray and Liston, concerning authorization for retail sellers of alcoholic beverages for on-premises consumption to sell remaining inventory to another on-premises retail seller of alcohol beverages with whom there is common ownership when there is no longer licensed to sell alcohol beverages for on-premises consumption. Senate Bill 79 by Senator Guzman and Representative Pabon, a bill concerning classifying sake as a vinous liquor for the purposes of Colorado Liquor Code. Senate Bill 107 by Senators Zinzinger and Representative Thurlow, concerning the repeal of procedures to fill vacancies in candidate nominations for the elections conducted under the Colorado Municipal Code of 1965. House Bill 1075 by Representatives Lee and Hare and Senators Kagan and Cook, concerning the enactment of Colorado Revised Statutes 2017 as the positive and statutory law of the state of Colorado. Senate Bill 154 by Senator Field and Representative Salazar, concerning a requirement for local juvenile services planning committee to devise a plan to manage duly identified crossover youth. Senate Bill 10 by Senators Martinez, Humanick, and Williams, and Representatives Exum, concerning the requirement that a residential landlord provide a tenant with specified documents relevant to the landlord-tenant relationship and in connection therewith specifying rent receipts and copies of any written lease agreements as documents that must be provided. Senate Bill 106 by Senators State and Representatives Thurlow, concerning obsolete statutory provisions related to a local government's pledging of sales or use tax revenues to pay for revenue bonds issued for the purpose of financing capital improvements. Senate Bill 33 by Senator Sonnenberg, Representatives Art and Becker J, concerning the continuation of the animal feeding operation permit program under the Department of Public Health and Environment and in connection therewith making an appropriation. House Bill 1159 by Representatives Hammer and Senator Lambert, concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Education. House Bill 1165 by Representatives Hammer and Senator Lambert, concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Public Safety. House Bill 1166 by Representatives Hammer and Senator Lambert, concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Regulatory Agencies. House Bill 1168 by Representative Hammer and Senator Lambert, concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of State. House Bill 1169, Representatives Hammer and Senator Lambert, concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Treasury. House Bill 1170 by Representatives Hammer and Senator Lambert, concerning funding for capital construction and making supplemental appropriations in connection therewith. House Bill 1173 by Representatives Raikin and Senator Lambert, concerning a supplemental transfer of money from the general fund to the Information Technology Capital account of the Capital Construction Fund for the 2017-18 state fiscal year.
Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move all the bills listed on the third reading of bills consent calendar consisting of Senate Bills 138, 179, 107, House Bill 1075, Senate Bill 154, Senate Bill 110, 106, 33, House Bill 1159, 1165, 1166, 1168, 1169, 1170, and 1173.
And I think we said House Bill 175, House Bill 1075.
One correction, Mr. Chair, I believe the second bill I listed. Just everybody pile on. That's okay. Pile on. Excuse me, Mr. President. The second bill that I mentioned, 79. I may have said 179. So moving Senate Bill 79.
Thank you, Mr. Majority. Thank you, Mr. Majority Leader. Motion before the body is the adoption of all the bills on the third reading of bills consent calendar. Are there any no votes on any of the bills? Senator Sonnenberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. It has to be recorded as a no on Senate Bill 10.
Senator Baumgartner.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would also like to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 10.
Senator Smallwood.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 10.
Senator Cook.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded as no vote on Senate Bill 10.
Senator Marble.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1170, House Bill 1173, Senate Bill 10, and Senate Bill 33.
All right, let's go through those again. 1170. Got it. Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. It has to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 10.
Senator Hill.
Thank you, Mr. President. I request to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 10.
Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I wish to be recorded as a no vote on Senate Bill 10.
We're on no votes on third reading of bills consent calendar. Senator Lambert.
Thank you. I'd also ask to be a no vote on Senate Bill 10.
Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. I also wish to be recorded as a no vote on House Bill 1165 and House Bill 1170.
Any other no votes? Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. Hoping that this might be fixed in the House, I will, however, be a no vote on Senate Bill 10 at this point in time.
Right. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 138 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Moreno. Senator Neville. Senator Zenzinger. Senator Todd. Senator Marble. Senator Tate. Senator Smallwood. Senator Fields. Please add the president. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 79 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Moreno. Senator Tate, Senator Fenberg, Senator Aguilar, Senator Fields, Senator Merrifield, Senator Marble, Senator Neville, Senator Smallwood. Please add the president. Yes. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 107 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Fields. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1075 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Tate. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 154 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Moreno, Senator Kafalis, Senator Zenzinger, Senator Jones, Senator Aguilar, Senator Kagan, Senator Donovan, Senator Todd, Senator Merrifield, Senator John, Senator Garcia, Senator Kafalis, I already got you, Senator Kagan, Senator Donovan, I got you already, Senator Williams, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Kerr, Senator Court, I got you. With 24 ayes, 10 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 10 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Moreno, Senator Fenberg, Senator Todd, Senator Jones, Senator Guzman, Senator Merrifield, Senator Donovan, Senator Court, Senator Priola. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 106 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Kafalis. With 33 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 33 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Guzman, Senator Merrifield, Senator Coram, Senator Moreno, Senator Garcia, Senator Crowder, please add the president, and Senator John. Coram. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1159 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Zenzinger, Senator Todd, Senator Fields, Senator Williams, Senator Kafalis, Senator Aguilar, Senator Jones, Senator Crowder, Senator Kagan, Senator Kerr, Senator Merrifield, Senator Martinez-Humenick, Senator Garcia, with 33 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1165 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Todd. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1166 is adopted. Co-sponsors. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1168 is adopted. Co-sponsors. With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1169 is adopted. Co-sponsors. With 32 ayes, 2 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1170 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Kafalis. Senator Garcia. Senator Crowder. Senator Todd. Senator Jones. Senator Fields. Senator Zenzinger. With 33 ayes, 1 no, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1173 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Todd. Third reading of bills, final passage. Ms. Spear, please read the title of Senate Bill 129.
Senate Bill 129 by Senators Moreno and Representatives Art concerning the non-substantive reorganization of the law exempting from state sales tax certain drugs and medical therapeutic devices.
Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move Senate Bill 129 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 129? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of Senate Bill 129. Are there any no votes? With 34 ayes, 0 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, Senate Bill 129 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Marble. Senator Kafalis. Senator Jones. Senator Fields. Senator Crowder. Senator Fields, I've got you. Senator Lundberg, is that a co-sponsorship? Okay. Senator Todd. Senator Merrifield. Ms. Spear, please read the title of House Bill 1160.
House Bill 1160 by Representatives Hammer and Senators Lambert concerning a supplemental appropriation of the offices of the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and State Planning and Budgeting.
Senator Lambert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1160 on third reading.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1160? Seeing none, the motion for the body's adoption of House Bill 1160. Are there any no votes? Senator Marble, Senator Neville, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Sonnenberg. With 30 ayes, 4 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1160 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Jones. Ms. Spear, please read the title to House Bill 1161. 1161.
House Bill 1161 by Representatives Hammer and Senators Lambert concerning a supplemental appropriation of the Department of Health Care Policy and Financing.
Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1161 and ask for its favorable adoption.
Motion, is there any further discussion? Motion for the body is the adoption of House Bill 1161. Are there any no votes? Senator Marble, Senator Neville, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Sonnenberg. With 30 ayes, 4 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1161 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Senator Aguilar. Senator Zenzinger. Senator Garcia. Ms. Spear, please read the title of the House Bill 1162.
House Bill 1162 by Representative Hammer and Senator Lambert concerning a supplemental appropriation of the Department of Human Services.
Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1162 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion for the body is the adoption of House Bill 1162. Are there any no votes? Senator Marble, Senator Neville, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Sonnenberg. With 30 ayes, 4 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1162 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Garcia, Senator Todd, Senator Merrifield, Senator Zenzinger, Senator Fields, Senator Kafalis. Sorry, got you, Senator Todd. Senator Crowder. Ms. Spear, please read the title to House Bill 1163.
House Bill 1163 by Representative Hammer, Senator Lambert, concerning supplemental appropriation of the Judicial Department.
Senator Lamberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1163 on third reading and final passage.
Any further discussion on House Bill 1163? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1163. Are there any no votes? Senator Marble, Senator Neville, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Sonnenberg. With 30 ayes, 4 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1163 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Kagan. Ms. Spear, please read the title to House Bill 1164.
House Bill 1164 by Representative Hammer, Senator Lambert, concerning supplemental appropriation of the Department of Personnel.
Senator Lundberg.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1164 and ask for its favorable adoption.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, the motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1164. Are there any no votes? Senator Marble, Senator Neville, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Sonnenberg. With 30 ayes, 4 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1164 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Ms. Spear, please read the title to House Bill 1167.
House Bill 1167 by Representative Hammer, Senator Lambert, concerning supplemental appropriation of the Department of Revenue.
Senator Moreno.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move House Bill 1167 on third reading and final passage.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 1167? The motion before the body is the adoption of House Bill 1167. Are there any no votes? Senator Marble, Senator Neville, Senator Baumgardner, Senator Sonnenberg. With 30 ayes, 4 noes, 0 absent, 1 excused, House Bill 1167 is adopted. Co-sponsors: Senator Zenzinger.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to be recorded as a co-sponsor for House Bill 1160.
Please record Senator Zenzinger as a co-sponsor on House Bill 1160. Senator Kagan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd ask that I be added as a co-sponsor to House Bill 1161.
Is that Senator Kagan as a co-sponsor on House Bill 1161? Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yesterday, I noted that there had been requests to remove Senate Bills 165 and 136 from the General Order Second Reading Bills consent calendar. However, those still show today, so we will again move those off of the consent calendar, and those will follow House Bill 1171 on the General Order Second Reading of Bills calendar. Mr. President, I move that we lay over the balance of the calendar until Tuesday, February 20th.
The motion is to lay over the balance of the calendar till Tuesday, February 20. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the balance of the calendar will be laid over. Announcements. Senator Merrifield.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would request a moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Members, yesterday I was sitting at my desk listening to what was being said at the podium about the school shooting in Florida. I sat at my desk in anger and in frustration and exhaustion. What more could I say? I've been beating my head against the wall of excuses and indifference when it comes to gun violence for almost 20 years. But I was moved to stand up here once again and say something, once again, this morning by an interview with a student who had just survived one of the deadliest school shootings in American history. Mr. President, may I have the attention of the body? I was moved to stand here once again by an interview that I watched on television this morning on CBS from one of the students who had survived one of the deadliest school shootings in American history. He challenged local officials and national officials to stop stalling. This was the 17th school shooting this year. In just 6 weeks, 17 mass shootings. 35 lives lost in the school shootings this year. Sure, horrible acts of violence like this can occur anywhere, but it's only here in our country, in the USA, that they occur over and over and over again. The rest of the world looks on in shocked disbelief, while we seem numb to it, as though somehow this is just a part of life in America. And what, I ask, is the singular difference between us and the rest of the world? You know what it is. There are mentally disturbed people all over the world, but we are the only country where mass shootings occur again and again and again. And I'm sorry, but our thoughts and our prayers aren't stopping or solving anything. Thoughts and prayers don't prevent a deranged person from legally purchasing a huge cache of weapons or stop them from modifying those legally purchased weapons into tools of mass murder. And as far as knowing in advance that someone is deranged and capable of committing such an atrocity, I can look at every one of you in the eye and never, ever know for certain what your mental state is. But I can look at a weapon, I can look at an AR-15, I can look at a bump stock and know that its sole purpose is to kill as many people as possible, as fast as possible. It's way past time for mere thoughts and prayers. Thank you, Mr. President.
Announcements. Senator Neville.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues on the Finance Committee, we will be meeting at 1:30 on Tuesday instead of our normal 2 o'clock time. We will have one bill at that time, Senate Bill 146, on the agenda. See you on Tuesday.
Senator Jones.
Thank you, Mr. President. I've talked to Minority Leader and Majority Leader. I'd like to be excused on Tuesday. They're relieved, in fact.
My apologies, Senator Jones. Yes. Senator Donovan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Announcement, and then I'll request a moment of personal privilege. But first, the announcement. Colleagues, you all got on your desk this morning the flyer on the Behavioral Health Caucus. This is our first one of this session. And just what I particularly want to flag for you is if you would like to come talk to this group about a bill or legislation that you are working on, we certainly welcome and hope that you will attend. And now, Mr. President, I'd love to request a brief moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, the Olympics have been a joyous thing for us to watch at night. I hope you have all you've found time or a way to follow what is happening with the United States in the Olympics this year. But I just want to take a moment of a brag on the mic. Of all the Olympians that are competing, I have the privilege to call 6 of them former students. I was an educator with the Vail Ski and Snowboard Academy, and I have 6, I keep telling myself I have to stop calling them kiddos because a lot of them are now over 21, but I still call them my kiddos. Tess Johnson is a mogul skier. She barely missed making the finals. We're very proud of her. She's one of the youngest women to ever be named to the U.S. ski team. Aaron Blanc still has to compete. He is the pride and joy of Mount Cresta Butte. He's one of those kids that throws on skis and then gets in a half pipe and does things that I just don't know how you do in the air. Faye Galini just competed last night along with Megan Tierney. They do the same thing. They do the snowboard cross. They just missed making it into the finals. Keep an eye on Megan Tierney. She has a long career ahead of her. Jake Pates got 8th in the snowboard final. Of course, Sean White is the one we all know, but watch Jake. He is 18, I believe. So as we see Sean White competing into his 30s, remember the name Jake Pates. And then finally, Julia Moreno, who's not a Colorado kid, so maybe not a name you've heard, but she's a New York gal who's also a snowboarder and made the finals. So 6 of my former students that are representing the United States with pride, and I just wanted to give them a little bit of love from the mic. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Senator Crowder.
Moment of personal privilege.
Granted.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just heard what was spoke down here a few minutes ago, and I will tell you that the power of prayer is great. The power of prayer may not be the answer that you're looking for, but I will continue to be one of the people that do pray for answers, and I reject the idea that prayer no longer fits what we need. So thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. Any further announcements? Message from the House.
Mr. President, the House passed on third reading and transmitted the Riders of Statutes House Bill 1130 as amended as printed in the House Journal February 15, 2018. The House passed on third reading and returns herewith Senate Bill 19 and Senate Bill 41.
Majority Leader Holbert.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate adjourn until 10 a.m. Tuesday, February 20.
The motion is for the Senate to adjourn until 10 a.m. Tuesday, February 20th. All those in favor say aye. All opposed, no. Ayes have it, and the Senate will be adjourned.